The Mindset Kids, it's $24.99 a month for all children in your family. And that includes dependent children too, because I know we have a couple of people that have some autistic children that are nonverbal and they're in their 20s, but they're still dependent children. So the program works like that. And those are free, what we call general care calls for those. Now, if you are a child that has chronic conditions and you have lengthy extended cares, there is a fee for those calls. But for your normal, what I call cough and cold, general care questions, it's $24.99 a month for all of your kids in the family. What we knew at one point was that it was going to take an adult vaccine to create awareness of the corruption behind the CDC, the FDA, the government, and the whole childhood vaccine schedule. So we had been anticipating for years that there would be an adult vaccine that came out. And in fact, if you check with the CDC back in February of 2019, they actually published an adult vaccination schedule, which was basically duplicating all the childhood vaccines. So that's your MMR, your meningitis, your polio, your HPV, your Hep B, all of those vaccines. They actually came out. Now, it wasn't a mandated schedule, but it was an adult schedule. So we were like, wow, we're getting closer to adult vaccines. Well, then 2020, COVID comes along, and we have eventually the COVID vaccine, which is a mandated vaccine. You get the mandate and you get mass vaccine injury across the world. And you also have adults that are being vaccinated, and they can say, oh, no, it happened right after the vaccine. Or you have eyewitnesses that, no, this person was completely healthy, and then they got vaccinated, and then now they're having injuries or problems or even death. So that's a lot different than if you have a newborn baby that gets Hep B on day one of birth and then dies within the next 12 days. You can't say, oh, it was the vaccine that did it, because they're never going to do that research. You can't have a young toddler who can't talk and can't really express themselves very well, and you schedule, all of these childhood vaccines, and then all of a sudden they wake up and they're head banging, flapping their hands, they've lost all their speech. You go to the pediatrician and they're like, I don't know what happened. And so we knew it was going to take a mandated adult vaccine to create awareness of vaccine injury. And if you kind of start, to peel back all of these layers, and now you see even Peter McCullough is like, have you seen the childhood vaccine? Well, I guarantee you that was because we were at an event with him when Jim looked at Peter on the stage and said, wait until you start researching the childhood vaccines. So people are finally waking up to the corruption and everything. And not only are, these people, now that they're aware of this corruption and vaccine injury is real for children, we have parents who are opting out of all of the vaccines. So what's happening to them?
We're there.
Yeah.
Our kids aren't getting any of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go to, let's say you have a couple of kids and you go to your normal pediatrician and you go in and they're like, oh, hey, it's time for they're old enough for the HPV today. And you're like, well, I don't think I want to do the HPV. I've been researching. And the doctor says, if you're not going to follow the CDC recommended schedule, then I'm not going to see you as a patient. So they're getting kicked out because there is a financial incentive for these pediatricians to vaccinate a certain percentage of their practice. So they have to meet a quota to get a financial bonus at the end of the year. So if you're a patient and you opt to not vaccinate your child, you are now hindering that pediatrician's ability to get a bonus from an insurance company. So they're firing these patients. So again, you look at, people don't want to go to pediatricians that are, demanding vaccinations, but there's still people that want a pediatrician, or they want a family practitioner, or they want some type of medical guidance or counseling or something. And so we knew this was coming, and we've had in our back pocket for a long time telemedicine, holistic care for children, where you are not going to be penalized for vaccinating. In fact, we actually don't even offer vaccines. And it was during Jimmy's cancer journey that we were really developing the program and getting ready to launch. And then we would have many setbacks and things like that. Number one, we've got to get the physicians in that are family practitioners and pediatricians. So just FYI, if you are a pediatrician or a family practitioner and you have multi-state licensing, please message us, and so that we can talk to you, because we're going to need more physicians to help us.
You are. I think this is going to blow up. I think Western medicine, and I think competitive intelligence in the biotech space, it's done. It's over.
Yeah.
It's got to take some kind of different form, and I think this is going to just blow up.
It is. We need an alternative resource for these parents that they still want contact with physicians, but we are going to allow you to be the scientist of your own health too, and your children's health. In fact, I noticed you were going through our advisory board, and for people who are familiar, Dr. Paul Thomas is on our advisory board. He is a well-known pediatrician who wrote the alternative, the vaccine-friendly plan, which basically was an introduction for parents to start really researching. Actually, in today's world, he doesn't recommend any vaccines. And his new book, I'll give Dr. Paul Thomas a shout out, is called Vax Facts, which is available now, and it will be in distribution in December. And it's a doozy. It's a great one. And then we also have Dr. Brian Hooker, who is the right here, Dr. Brian Hooker. He is the one that actually exposed all of the fraud with the CDC between Dr. William Thompson, and Dr. Hooker is the one that helped generate all the data for Vaxxed, which is the documentary Vaxxed, from cover up to catastrophe. So we've got a great board, but the whole thing is it's telehealth for pediatrics, and we haven't made an official launch. That should be probably in about 2 weeks. But if you're interested, you can go ahead and contact us through the form at MindsetKids. And we do have several patients already enrolled with MindsetKids. There's just it's like our prototype to make sure that all of the back end, all the gears are working right. So now that's our EMR system. So if you're a patient, we have electronic medical records so that you have access to those as a patient. And that's
my wife loves that, because she is a healer, and she's, even Terry said, "Are you a nurse or something?" He goes, "No, but I'm a healer." And so,
that's great.
It's a great resource.
You'll have that, your health records, if you had an appointment, we send documents on wellness, and everything comes through our Charm Health electronic medical records. So that's a great resource. And then we do have available now our the MindsetKids Natural Health Guide, which was written by Meg in our office, our natural health consultant, along with Dr. Meehan and Dr. Paul Thomas. And it's a guide to help parents if it's just your normal cough and cold, or scrapes and bruises, or what to do with a fever. It lists all natural remedies. And there's also a section on when to go to the ER, because sometimes you do need to seek medical attention. But our goal is really to help parents become that scientist of their children's health, and not like, if the child has a fever, you don't have to run to the ER every time. Let's kind of take a look and see, why does your child have a fever? And then if you're looking for the book, go to shop, and it should have the guide right there. Almost. It was the other tab under shop, but that's okay. You can find it from, go to books. Oh, wait, right there. Yeah, yep. And that's our natural health guide. It'll be a hard copy or an ebook download.